Hello and welcome to The Point. Today we focus on two controversies that in a sense capture the essence of this election. In part 2, we shall discuss Narendra Modi's most recent interviews where his reluctance to apologize for 2002 has once again become a talking point across the media. But first, Rajnath Singh's meeting with Muslim clerics. Is that an example of BJP hypocrisy or a case of belated realism regarding the minority community? Now with me to debate Rajnath Singh's meeting and the controversy it's created is one of his closest advisors, BJP spokesperson Sudhanshu Trivedi, and from the Congress party, the co-chairman of its media department, Randeep Singh Surjewala. Mr. Trivedi, after sharply criticizing Sonia Gandhi for meeting a group of Muslim clerics brought to her by the Shahi Imam, Rajnath Singh spent Monday doing precisely the same thing in Lucknow. Isn't this a classic case of two-faced hypocrisy?
No, this is the half-truth and there is a distinct difference in both the cases. Number one, Rajnath ji has not only met the Muslim clerics, he has also gone to the two Gurudwaras, one in the old city and met their Granthi Paramjit, and also in the main Gurudwara in Charbagh. And he also met a few Hindu leaders. So he has also met few Muslim leaders. Number two, this is a clear-cut localized affair in which Rajnath ji was meeting in the capacity of a candidate in Lucknow. And it is customary, even previous matters, Atal ji uses to meet the father of Kalve Jabbar, Mr. Kalve Abid, and also Mr. Lalji Tandon, or for that matter, any other senior leader. Second thing, when Rajnath ji was chief minister, he used to go to even in Eidgah Maidan.
All right.
So there is nothing new which has happened. On the other hand,
just a moment. Don't give me everything in one go. Keep a little for the next question. Mr. Surjewala, it didn't take your colleague Ajay Markan very long to jump in and accuse the BJP A of double standards and B of duplicity. I put it to you, given that just 2 or 3 weeks earlier Sonia Gandhi has done the same thing, this is a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black.
Mr. Thapar, duplicity is second name for Bharatiya Janata Party and its leaders, and it's not pot calling the kettle black. What BJP is doing is also run with the hare and hunt with the hound. What Mr. Rajnath Singh did was this: he took television channels and newspapers along, he goes to meet the Muslim cleric, he tweets about it, he appeals for votes on ground of religion, and finally releases it in a media as a media event. What happened in case of Congress president was various delegations, various leaders, various representatives of various people come and meet Congress president. They sought an appointment, Congress president granted them an audience.
Let me stop you there. You've made a very important point. Let's put your point to Sudhanshu Trivedi. There are two things there, Mr. Trivedi. First of all, he took the media along, he tweeted about it, he was trying to get publicity for himself. Clearly, he was sending out a message that he is consciously appeasing and appealing Muslim clerics, therefore hoping that Muslim voters will A, vote for him and B, for his party. That's no different in any measure to what Sonia Gandhi did.
no. Sonia Gandhi met, then it was preceded by an appeal and proceeded by a fatwa. In Rajnath ji's case, there was no appeal before and no fatwa afterwards. And particularly...
Can I interrupt you, Mr. Trivedi? Can I interrupt you? Rajnath Singh, with great embarrassment, said that he had actually done nothing more than offer his respects. But Maulana Kalbe Jawad has contradicted him. This is what the Maulana has said. He has made promises to us and to the Muslim community. So first of all, you're not being truthful when you say there was no appeal. The Maulana is saying it was not respects, it was promises made.
Has Maulana given any dictate after that vote for BJP or don't allow the other votes to get divided? There is a difference.
But I know there's not.
And second thing, if Sonia Gandhi ji would have met any local imam of Rae Bareli, we would not have any objection.
The difference is the response. The difference is the response, not the attempt. The attempt made by Sonia Gandhi, the attempt made by Rajnath are identical. The response from the Maulanas were different.
Rajnath ji has gone in the capacity of a candidate, and every candidate in every Lok Sabha is visiting all the sections of society.
Just a moment.
And discussing with them and giving assurances.
Well, just a moment.
Nothing specific
What are these promises?
Sonia Gandhi ji has asked
Just a moment.
for support
Mr.
for entire
Trivedi,
Congress
Mr.
party,
Trivedi,
and also do
Mr.
not make the
Trivedi,
secular votes to divide.
Mr.
As if
Trivedi,
secular vote is a Muslim vote.
pause a moment. First of all, Mr. Rajnath hid from us that he made promises. He only said he'd offered his respects until Maulana Kalbe Jawad gave the cat out of the let the cat out of the bag. Now I'm asking you, what are these promises? What are the promises he made?
I'm not privy to any private discussion, but Rajnath ji or any other.
Or you don't want to reveal it because they're embarrassing promises, aren't they?
Channels, media tweet about it, and it's a private conversation.
As far as the media is concerned, I would like to say to Mr. Ranjit Surdewala, Rajnath is visiting all over the Lucknow and media is following him.
Completely forgets that Mr. Rajnath Singh was trying to appeal to minority voters and seek votes on the ground
let me stop you there, Mr. Surjewala. Let me pursue that point with Mr. Trivedi. Mr. Trivedi, the truth given by Maulana Kalbe Jawad is that promises were made. You're not denying they were made. You're simply saying you're not aware of them because it was a private conversation. Therefore, the conclusion the audience will draw is that far from this being a meeting to convey respects, promises were made which is akin to seeking some sort of support, making an appeal on particular grounds, and it's no different therefore to what Sonia Gandhi did. And I come back to my initial question. If you're critical of Sonia, be critical of yourself. Otherwise, it's hypocrisy.
Any single incident cannot be taken in an isolated case. It has to be taken in the perspective. If you look at the background of Congress party, when the Prime Minister of this UPA government, whose chairperson is Sonia Gandhi, has said Muslims should have first right over the national resources of India. The Home Minister says that the Muslims youth should be spared. If in this background you take the meeting and the fatwa issued by Imam Bukhari, and who uses to say at one point of time that I am having faith in Osama bin Laden.
Let me stop you there. I want to put the point you're making. Gentlemen, don't quarrel with each other. I want to put the point you're making to Mr. Surjewala. You're hearing, Mr. Surjewala, from Mr. Trivedi that things must be seen in context and perspective, and it's the context and perspective that is particularly worrying about what Sonia Gandhi did. She clearly asked the Maulanas brought by the Shahi Imam not to split the secular vote. However, she's made no such appeal to any member of the Hindu community, not even any section of it. Therefore, it follows, as day follows night, that she was clearly appealing to Muslims on religious grounds and clearly, therefore, breaching the law.
Let me put facts on record, Mr. Thapar. Firstly, Indian National Congress and its president, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, has never appealed to anyone to vote for the Congress party on ground of religion.
No, just a moment. What does it mean when you say don't split the secular vote?
One second.
Is that not on grounds of religion?
We heard Sudhanshu ji. We heard his elaborate. We heard his elaborate speech.
No, but so I want you to answer my elaborate question. Don't get deflected by his elaborate speech. My question is, if Sonia Gandhi did not appeal in similar terms to any member of the Hindu community or any section of the Hindu community and only to Muslims, then clearly she's targeting Muslims on religious grounds. That's undeniable. And therefore, it is a breach of the law of the land.
Mr. Thapar, I reject the assertion completely. Various delegations meet Mrs. Gandhi from time to time. A delegation sought an appointment. Mrs. Gandhi did not reach out to anybody. A delegation came, sought an appointment from Congress president, put across their viewpoint, and what did Mrs. Gandhi say? I want to remind your viewers.
Don't split the secular vote. She said our policy, welfare of minorities, was what it is before meeting the delegation and has remained what it is. We believe that minorities are an important part of political discourse. They need to be included. They need to be part of the national mainstream, and it is for this reason, whether it is Christian minority, Buddhist minority, Jain minority, or Muslim minority or other minorities, we believe they all must come and participate in national discourse. When was the last time Sonia Gandhi appealed to Shankaracharyas not to split the Hindu vote? When was the last time she appealed to any of India's 4 cardinals to ensure that the Catholic community doesn't split the secular vote? It's only to Muslims she makes this appeal, and clearly that shows she thinks of Muslims differently to any other community. That proves my point, doesn't it?
Absolutely incorrect, sir. With due regards, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi never, and let me reiterate, and let's not put words into Congress party or Congress president's mouth. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and I am saying on your channel with a sense of responsibility, never appealed to anybody, never asked for non-division of secular vote, never said to any individual to vote on ground of religion. In Mrs. Gandhi and Congress party have always believed that elections and political electorate are not a part of any religion or communities or region, and
what does it mean when you say don't split the secular vote? Isn't that an appeal on grounds of religion? Don't split the secular vote?
Absolutely incorrect. When Mrs. Gandhi speaks about defending the idea of India, when Mrs. Gandhi speaks about defending this
two different forms of the English language.
Those who seek to divide and not unite.
Perhaps we have two different concepts of the English language in mind.
Love and not hatred.
Mr. Trivedi,
that is not appealing on the ground of religion.
That's what you say. Let the audience judge. Mr. Trivedi, let me put this. In contrast to Mr. Rajnath Singh's appeal, the Diwan of the Ajmer Dargah, Saeed Zainul Abidin Ali Khan, has said Muslims should vote as Indians, not as Muslims. Secondly, he's added, it's important Muslims judge political parties on the basis of their policy and performance. Isn't it embarrassing that the Diwan is actually speaking in the language one usually thinks the BJP would speak in? The BJP, on the other hand, seems to be imitating Congress's language and Congress's style. Isn't that embarrassing for you?
You quote a single instance in which we are copying the Congress language? If by meeting any religious cleric, not only one,
making promises, don't skirt around that, making promises, and you won't reveal what the promises are. That's the other point. Remember that.
There is a difference. Can I ask Mr. Surjewala, do they consider a religious head of a Hindu sect and the delegation of Vishwa Hindu Parishad as a common? Then they will say, no, no, no. This is the religious head and this is the political delegation. In the same manner, Shahi Imam, who is a purely political cleric, he was the Samajwadi Party previously.
Mr. Trivedi was something else. My question is, are you embarrassed by the fact that the Diwan of the Ajmer Dargah...
Imam goes and meets Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji,
gentlemen, one at a time,
when a
please don't
delegation
interrupt
of
each
a
other.
similar nature comes and meets Congress President,
gentlemen,
let me complete
let the anchor have the privilege of interrupting both of you, but please don't interrupt each other.
BJP perpetuates.
Mr. Trivedi, the question I asked you was a very simple, straightforward one. If the Diwan of the Ajmer Dargah is asking Muslims to vote as Indians, not as Muslims, something that the BJP has traditionally always been saying, suddenly, isn't the BJP embarrassed when you now are appealing to them, making promises, as Maulana Jawad has made quite clear, seeking their votes purely because they are Muslims? You're doing what Congress has been criticized by you for doing all along. Now you're suddenly copying them.
When a person is contesting election, for example, in Delhi, going to Karol Bagh Resident Welfare Association, you some promise, then you are saying you are doing some regionalism? Nothing. Meeting all sections of society, hearing to them, and whatever is possible, it is doing that. If we would have met one cleric, if we would have met one religion, one head of the religion, one head of the sect, like Srimati Sonia Gandhi has done, then it could have been considered as a partial approach. Then we are approaching all the sections of society.
Mr. Surjewala, answer that. It's a very telling point. Sonia Gandhi is concentrating solely on Muslim clerics. She isn't meeting Shankaracharyas. She isn't meeting Catholic priests. She's not meeting any other religious head to appeal not to split the secular vote. That single-minded focus on Muslims gives the game away. That's what Mr. Trivedi is saying. Answer him.
I think it arises out of the classical duplicity that BJP has. I've clarified that. Mrs. Gandhi meets every individual, every group, every...
When did she last meet Hindu priests? When did she last meet Catholic priests? Why don't you tell me?
From the color of her religion.
No, why don't you tell me? When did she last meet Hindu priests and Catholic priests and appeal to them not to split the secular vote?
Absolutely, as I pointed out to you, many delegations.
No, but when? Give me a precise date. When was the last time she met Hindu priests and Catholic priests?
Various organizations.
You can't tell me, can you? You can't tell me, can you?
And it is not Mrs. Gandhi. No, it's not Mrs. Gandhi who went and met somebody. A delegation seeks an appointment, comes and meet Mrs. Gandhi, puts across their viewpoint.
Oh, they were begging for time, were they? Are you now saying that the Muslims were begging for time, that they were desperate to meet Mrs. Gandhi, they were knocking on her door, she just politely let them into the room?
Just 1 second, unlike Mr. Rajnath Singh, who carries television cameras, who carries journalists with him, makes promises that he refuses to disclose,
gentlemen, let's not go over old territory.
Vote on the ground of religion.
Gentlemen, let's not repeat points we made before. Let me put to you, Mr. Surjewala, one critical difference between what Mr. Rajnath Singh did and what Mrs. Gandhi did. Mr. Rajnath Singh, at the end of the day, when he met Muslims, was trying to reassure them not to be scared of BJP and Mr. Modi. When Mrs. Gandhi met the Muslims, she actually was exploiting their sense of religious insecurity. There's a big difference, and I put it to you that what Mrs. Gandhi did, most people would think was worse.
Same cleric, same respected cleric also said, we are very, very scared of Modi. But we want to see
that's
Mr.
the fear
Rajnath
you were exploiting.
Singh in the same
BJP
light
was
as
trying to reassure them, you were exploiting
That
it.
is the game plan. Because Mr. Rajnath Singh
You're a superb
feels
politician.
somewhere
You're
he belongs to the group of 160 and he feels that he is a person
you're
who
a
would be
superb
able to be
politician.
a
I
rallying
congratulate
point
you.
when
You're
Mr.
avoiding
Modi
the
is
question.
discarded
The
by
question is,
Bharatiya
Mrs.
Janata
Gandhi was
Party.
exploiting
When the
the
results
fear.
come out,
The
the whole
BJP
game
was
plan
trying
is
to
simple,
reassure
and
that the
is, Mr.
fear is
Thapar, for you to
groundless,
see
which
and
is
your
worse.
viewers to see.
You're not going to answer my question? I'll repeat it one last time. Mrs. Gandhi was exploiting religious insecurity. The BJP, I put it to you, was trying to reassure that there was no reason to be fearful. Which is worse?
With due regards, that's absolutely incorrect. Anybody can come and meet Mrs. Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi did not seek an appointment. So a group of a delegation of senior clerics comes and meets her.
Let me put this to you. Let's not go back to old territory. Mr. Trivedi,
as a responsible leader, it is her duty to hear everybody.
Let's
we don't sit with closed
not
minds
get lost in rhetoric.
and
I accept
carry
it's a duty.
venomous agenda.
Mr. Trivedi, I want to move the discussion in the limited time left one gear further upwards. What makes Mr. Rajnath Singh and the BJP believe that the Muslim community votes as a bloc? Because that's the assumption when you go to clerics and Maulanas and ask them to guarantee the way the community votes. Why do you think Muslims vote collectively? Why do you think they vote unitedly rather than as individuals? Because that's the assumption behind Mr. Rajnath Singh's meeting.
Our assumption is we do not consider any community as a vote bank. We just go and pay respect.
You're trying pretty hard in this instance.
Let me complete my sentence. When what Mr. Surjewala ji is saying, it is having three inferences.
No. Answer my question before you go to Mr. Surjewala.
He is saying, I would like to answer what Mr. Surjewala said. Mr. Imam Bukhari on record has said that Sonia Gandhi ji has asked for help. And Sonia ji has not contradicted.
Hang on a second. Maulana Khalid Jawad on record has said Mr. Rajnath Singh made promises and you are not denying it, but you're not revealing what the promises were.
If what you and Mr. Surjewala is saying that Sonia ji has not called Shahi Imam and Shahi Imam on its own has come and begged for giving the votes to Congress party, it means he is showing disrespect to Shahi Imam on one hand. On the other hand, is Maulana Khalid Jawad has said something positive about Rajnath Singh.
But I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm going to point out whatever you're saying is not an answer to the question I asked.
Which is coming out of the statement of Mr. Surjewala is having disrespect for both Shahi Imam and Karan.
Come. Let's not get so exaggerated in our criticisms of each other. Mr. Surjewala, just as I pointed out to Mr. Trivedi that he's assuming that Muslims vote as a bloc, not as individuals, why is it that when your party leader wants to appeal to Muslims, she does the talking to Shahi Imams, Maulvis and Maulanas? Why doesn't she talk to lawyers, doctors, architects, professors? Why clerics? Why do you assume that Muslim clerics influence the community and not other people?
Mr. Thapar, we in Indian National Congress believe that all Indians have to vote as one nation. And in that nation, downtrodden sections of minority communities, whatever religion they come from.
You're taking a leaf out of Mr. Trivedi's bad book. Answer my question, don't imitate him.
Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, in a televised appeal just released 2 days back, has also appealed to all sections of society.
Mr. Surjewala, my question was a simple one. I'll repeat it because you're an intelligent person. Why is it that when she wants to appeal to Muslims, it's Shahi Imams, Maulanas and clerics she meets? Why not doctors? Why not lawyers? Why not chartered accountants? Why not architects? Why not professionals? Why only men of faith? Answer that.
In fact, our manifesto, the fundamental, if you look at our manifesto and 30 meetings Mr. Rahul Gandhi had,
you're determined to talk about something else.
Cutting across sections of the society. I'm answering your precise question.
Let me, gentlemen, put it like this.
When Mr. Rahul Gandhi went around meeting everybody, all sections of society,
Mr. Surjewala,
the whole purpose was to be representative.
I congratulate you on your terrific capacity not to answer the question, but to carry on talking quite fluently. Both of you are master politicians. I congratulate you on the fact that this was clearly an item that was intended to embarrass both of you. Not only are you not embarrassed, but you've got a wonderful capacity not to answer the question at all, but to make your point nonetheless. My congratulations and thank you very much for joining me today. I'm not sure whether the people of India, however, have been best served by what I can only call prevarication.